Hello everybody and welcome back to the J&M Industries channel. Today we're going to be doing a logic board switch, or a logic board swap on an A2337. So let's begin. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need is our 1.2 Penelope screwdriver. Go ahead and take off our bottom screws. Alright. Just use our suction cup. Get that plate up. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the battery. And I'm going to start out by removing all of the T3 screws. So I'm going to grab that now, right here. And I just use a magnetic mat to keep all this put together. And this should be the last two right here. And then we'll start with our T5 screws. Oh, I did miss the Wi-Fi bracket, so we'll have to go back with the T3 on that one. T3 again. Oh, that's a 1.2. Okay, so we'll start by removing the Wi-Fi antennas. Just kind of angle those back. USB-C board, speaker, the microphone, keyboard, trackpad, LVDS, and the audio I/O board. So we'll go ahead and pop this out. Set it over here to the side. Now, because we're doing a logic board switch, we also have to change out the Touch ID button with the matching Touch ID button for the new board. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And I believe these silver ones on the audio, yep, they are a T5. Put those over there. And the speaker connector can be a little tricky. Let me grab a spudger real quick. If you just get in there and just like so. So we'll set that right there. And then our Touch ID button screws are T3s. So and just like so. Go ahead and remove that button, put it with the corresponding board. Here's our matching button. And just don't put too much pressure on the cable, but just hold it just enough to when you close it, it'll hold the button in place. We'll go ahead and reinstall our bracket with our T3 screws. Like so. And we're doing this switch today because this customer had purchased this computer, and when he went to reinstall the OS, he found out it was activation locked. And he did not have the previous owner's iCloud account information. So the only thing at that point to do would be to change the board. So we're going to take care of that for him today. So we got our bracket installed, and before we go any further, it's always good to check just to make sure we got good press and our button is lined up. It's not like catty-cornered or off-center. So now we'll go through and reinstall our audio board. And we're going to need our T5 with our big silver screws here. Go ahead and plug in our Touch ID button, and then switch back to our T3. And go ahead and reinstall all our T3 screws into the audio IC, or the audio board. I don't know why I called it audio. Well, there is an audio IC on there. Oh, and see guys, I made a mistake there. I should not have put this bracket on until after I installed the logic board, because there's an I/O cable that plugs into it. Got a little ahead of the game there. Let's go ahead and put our logic board in. Get that I/O cable in. Make sure everything's lined up. Switch over to our T5. And we're going to grab the two T5 screws that have the thinner head on them. The other ones that go into the logic board themselves have a thicker head on them. I don't know if that's going to focus in or not, but you'll see when you go to do this. So we'll go ahead and get those into the heat sink. And the rest of these are all the same except for this guy with the big rubber on it. That one goes right here by your trackpad connector. So just go ahead and put that in. And just get all our T5s back in. If you have issues with the screw holes lining up, you can always loosen your screws up and readjust the board. In fact, sometimes that's just a good idea to put them in loose, get everything adjusted, and then go back through and tighten them down. Go ahead and plug in our screen and our trackpad, our USB-C ports. Sometimes this thing can be a pain to get plugged in. You don't want to put too much pressure in the center, because then it starts to get a bend in it, and then you won't get proper contact on all the pins. Plug our Wi-Fi antennas back in. We'll plug in a microphone. Switch back to our T3. And now we can put all our brackets back on. Put our Wi-Fi bracket back in. trackpad bracket. And that is pretty much, yep. So our last bracket here. Last of the T3 screws. Okay, so now just want to make sure we got all our screws back in. Just give it a quick visual inspection. Everything looks good. So we go ahead and plug our battery back in. Flip this little bracket over the locking clip. And then we'll put our plate back on. And I'm just going to leave it clipped in place for the moment, because I didn't purchase this logic board, the customer sent it to me, and we want to make sure that it's functional before completely buttoning this thing back up. And we have an Apple. So that's how you do a A2337 logic board swap. If you're interested in getting your MacBooks repaired, anything like that, you can visit our website at http://jmindustries11.com, and all our services are listed there. Alright, thank you.